Welcome to race number 3 of the ESRA Thunder Series, presented tonight by Barnes Paving, the Barnes Paving 200, live at Michigan Speedway, the home of the big three automakers, and Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Dodge, all represented in NASCAR at some point in time. Dodge no longer there, but Detroit's still important to all the drivers and all the teams as we continue on with this series, TJ. It's been a firecracker so far, and right now JD Woodward and Kenneth McCullough up at the top of the point standings.
Yeah, you're right, Jared. It's been a great season so far. The first two races have been exciting. They haven't disappointed, and I look for that excitement and drama to continue here at Michigan.
Exactly right. Michigan, with the Truck Series, TJ, is a lot more like a Daytona or Talladega than it is anything else. But and that's going to play a big role for these drivers tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, because you can't really look at this like you did Dover. You can't look at it really like you could like a Talladega or Daytona, but you still have to kind of factor into your strategy that draft is going to be really important here, and keeping the fenders on, and keeping that truck as clean and pristine as you can keep it to keep the aerodynamics intact.
And let's get into those point standings real quick here. JD Woodward leading by 1 point over Kenneth McCullough, who is a free agent driver. Ronnie Potts in third. Jack Webb, Josh Mayu up in the top 5, although Josh Mayu is a pro driver and will only be able to qualify for 5 total events this season. So we expect him to drop out fairly soon in the top 5. Roger Rios, Matthias had a great run last week. He's 6th. Brad Patterson 7th. Dusty Summers 8th. Mario Miranda 9th, who's had some great runs this season. And Jason Wiley in the top 10 currently.
Yeah, you got a lot of these guys are really in good point situations. They're comfortable where they're at. And some of the guys that have had some difficult starts to the season, they really kind of need to turn it around this week if they're gonna, because it's only an 8. I think it's an 8-race series. So time is, even though we're only on the third race, time is starting to run out for some of the guys who've had trouble.
You're exactly right, TJ. And this is getting down to crunch time already for these guys, because as you said, it's only an 8-race season. We will go to Kentucky Speedway next, which is a very unique track in regards to how it handles, how it drives. But tonight the focus is on Michigan. And TJ, getting into those keys to the race here tonight, you can look at it, and it's going to be a lot of things that these drivers are going to have to keep an eye on for the Barnes Paving 200. Fuel mileage, pit strategy, and working that draft, as you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, exactly. We see a lot of times with Michigan being as big and fast and wide of a track as it is, that there's usually not a lot of cautions, or at least you get a really long run like the second half of the race. So you got to be conscious of your fuel mileage, and sometimes working the draft, allows you to save fuel and maybe stretch it a few extra laps that some guys can't.
And even though it is December 8th, in the game, it is not December 8th. It is a nice, cool, mild 78 degrees. Wouldn't you love to be inside iRacing right now? 78 degrees, 82 track temperature. That's going to be very, very racy conditions for these truck drivers here tonight.
Yeah, realistically, as far as the track conditions go and the track temp, I don't think you could ask for much better weather to race under. They should have some good grip, but it shouldn't get hot and slick, and it's not too cool where it's going to throw, kind of handling kind of awry.
Got a few moments left here in warm-up. Robert Chipman up on top of the board. Doug Hess second. Both of those drivers, I believe Douglas Hess is making his first appearance of the season. Kenneth McCullough, second place in points. He'll be lined off on the grid 39th tonight. So a tough qualifying effort. He did make the field, but it is going to be a long haul for him. Brad Patterson, 4th on the chart. Kyle Hall, 5th. Dean Doucette, our pole sitter, 6th. Jack Webb, Mack, Moody, and Hand are top 10 drivers in practice. Of course, that can be draft influenced, but otherwise, TJ, very competitive here tonight in the draft, or the lap times, I should say.
Yeah, as drivers, you're looking at, the lap times that are put up. And, if you see a truck that's up near the top of the boards in practice, if you find yourself behind that guy in the race, that's a truck that can go fast. So it's a good truck to kind of line yourself up with, to make up some spots and make up some time and all that. So, these guys are cognizant of, whose trucks are fast in practice and whose aren't.
Yeah, you're exactly right, TJ. And these guys, continue to work some practice laps here, TJ. But looking back at last week at Dover, I mean, we saw some pretty hefty wrecks at the beginning, and then the race kind of came to it in the middle of that run, and we had a good run toward the end of that race, and we saw a lot of comers and goers in that race that ended up seeing JD Woodward grab the win, and that makes him the second winner in 2 races so far this year. JD Woodward is the guy with the target on his back. But right now, I mean, he is kind of in the middle of the pack as far as times go, in 14th.
Yeah, he is. I'm kind of surprised he's not further up the board, but, he may know what he's got under him, and he's not really concerned with putting up a big number. But, the guys in this series, they know that JD's a good driver. They know he's fast week in and week out. So, they know he's somebody, if you get behind him, he's going to take you to the front.
You're exactly right, TJ. Well, we have a couple more minutes here to go. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for the start of the Barnes Paving 200.
The field is rolling on back straightaway.
Get ready. This is going to be tight. Out of turn 4, ladies and gentlemen. The All-American 400 is underway.
Gotta be careful. The bumps here can get you every time. Entering the corner, exiting the corner.
All right, we are back live in the Irish Hills of Michigan, home to Michigan Speedway, and tonight, the Barnes Paving 200. These drivers got a couple more seconds here left in practice, TJ. What, you're 2 races into the season. This is race number 3 as you see our flagman waving the checkers on the session. What is your mindset going into this race if you're a guy that's outside that top 5 in points right now trying to go for that championship?
Well, if you're outside the top 5, I think, you've got to be smart. You've got to race, really smart here and make the right calls on pit road. Taking tires at the right time, as we've seen both races so far, has been really crucial. So I think those are the biggest factors for trying to work your way up into that top 5.
All right, well, let's get into the grid. And here you see on the screen right now, Dean Doucette on the pole, his first career Thunder Series pole. On the outside, Mark Figueroa, part of Haters Make Us Famous Racing. JD Woodward, points leader. He's rounding out number 3. Shane Wyatt will start 4th, part of that very strong Dark Horse Racing group. David Nance and Robert Henrada line up in row number 3. Jack Webb and Isaac Mock in row 4. Row 5 will be Kyle Hall and Ricky Wentworth, TJ.
Row 6 will be Dusty Summers, and outside of him will be John Mateo. Row 7 will be Zach Fowler on the inside and Jason Wiley to his outside. Row 8 will be Cale Dresbeck, and outside of him will be Douglas Hess. Row 9 shows us Brad Patterson on the inside and Robert Chipman on the outside. Row 10 will bring Rich Stone to the inside and Brandon Ishkanian to the outside.
And looking back at row number 11, we have Ronnie Potts and Jeremy Freer back there. Then we have Justin Newcomb and Roger Matthias, last week's runner-up. Looking down further through the field, row 13, we have David Moody and Brian Dublé. Row 14, Dusty Applin and Jim Dalton. 15, Ryan Mullis and Benjamin Walters. James Suggs and Ryan Dipple make up row 16. Row 17, Isaac Singleton and Ronald Serling. Row 18, Jason Hand and Dakota Wilson. Row 19, Logan Harris and Kenneth McCullough, our second place points and man. He's got a lot to go for. Row 20 will be Josh Mayu, one of the pro drivers in the event, and Kyle Ramsey, shotgun on the field tonight.
Yeah, we've got a couple of fast trucks towards the back. They've got a long way to go, but they've got a good distance to get there. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Dean Doucette up top, or on bottom, I should say, and Mark Figueroa on the outside. We are going to be going down to green here in just a second to start the third race of the Thunder Series out of 8. Pace trucks down on pit road. And green flag is out in the Barnes Paving 200. And a great start by Mark Figueroa on the outside, but Dean Doucette holds steady. They head into turn 1. I think I might have lost TJ there, but Dean Doucette taking the lead into turn 2 ahead of Mark Figueroa. They file out single file, but they're 3 abreast behind him.
Yeah, they're already working on a gaggle back there. It looks like 3 wide.
And a battle for the lead already as JD Woodward comes from the third row, sticks his nose underneath Dean Doucette, and takes the lead going in turn 4. Right behind him is David Nance in that 48, who's not going to let it go either. So 3-5 for the lead coming out of turn 2. Turn 4. And JD,
they get close there between the 6 and the 82.
Carr smoking in the background there, coming through the turn. JD Woodward slides up in front of Dean Doucette. David Nance on the bottom. They're 2 abreast as far back as you can see right now. Battle for the lead up front.
Yeah, Nance got a really good run off the bottom there.
Nance and Robert Hanrada in the 37 right behind him. The 82 truck of Shane Wyatt, who started 4th, drifting back to 3rd on the bottom side right now. And TJ, this race already looking, 3 wide there as Dusty Summers sticks it in the middle in the 4 truck.
They are wasting no time tonight getting after it. 3 wide.
And JD Woodward leads that lap, but looking further back in this pack, it is getting race C. JD Woodward, I got to say, TJ, very surprised he's running that outside groove, looking very strong doing it.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of guys in practice are running up top, and I was kind of wondering if, that was going to work early on, and it looks like it sure is.
Continue to work through. There's the 13 truck of Jack Webb. He's had a great season so far, but they are still working the outside. Single file behind him, deeper back in the pack. And JD Woodward slides up in front of Dean Doucette, causes a little bit of a checkup, but they're still going at it.
Yeah, that could have been big. That was quite a slip up there.
On board right now.
3 wide for 3rd, going
Jack
into 1.
Webb.
3 wide for 2nd.
Sorry, TJ. They're 3 wide, looking out in front of Jack Webb there. Big battling up front. Dusty Summers is coming up to the front.
I'm kind of surprised how hard these guys are going after it. They are not wasting any time.
Yeah, you're exactly right, TJ. And their action is all over the pack. I wanted to get back further in the pack, but it's just hard to get off this battle right now. But I wanted to take a look at Kenneth McCullough, our 2nd place in points man. He is sitting single file right now in that 03 truck, working his way to the front slow and steady in 31st place right now. So he's up 8 spots from his starting position. But we'll get back to the front and keep an eye on Kenneth McCullough as the race progresses. Dusty Summers to the lead, slides out in front of the 94. They're loose. They're wrecking. The 26 is around. And Mark Figueroa, our outside pole setter, into the wall hard.
Wow, somebody just went cartwheeling over top of this pile of trucks. Wow, and the 5 was looks like he's got significant damage from this.
Massive wreck, 5 laps into the event. We saw an early caution last week at Dover, TJ, and it starts again here tonight as the leaders take lap 6. Let's take a look and see what happened on this wreck. And it looks like it most likely started with Mark. Let's see here. We got a replay up now. Ooh, and somebody tagged Figueroa, but he is not really part of the wreck. Hits the wall, inside wall hard. Let's see if we can get a better view on what happened here.
Yeah, Dresbeck and the 88 make contact into the 26, and it's on from there.
There you see it on board the 51, and there is some hard contact there. Still not really getting a good look on this wreck, but you can definitely see what happened up front there. Let's see if we can get a better look at this angle again. A lot of different things going on right at that time.
Yeah, and you know, these trucks move around a lot in the air, and that can have a lot to do with this. You know, it's not necessarily that somebody moved up or down, but these trucks do move a lot in this air, this dirty air back here in the pack.
You see on the screen there, that is the 56 truck. Hard damage on that truck due to getting involved there. That's Jason Wiley, or Robert Chipman, I apologize, involved there. So tough break for a lot of these guys. If I could read correctly, that is the 36, not the 56, so I apologize there. That's Isaac Mock from Mocked Esports, getting some damage there on the late part of that wreck. But TJ, a lot of guys involved in that accident.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys whose race chances are over. They've just got a lot of damage. And that's the thing, when you get in a wreck here at Michigan, you're going so fast, and, you know, it usually tears the truck to pieces.
Yeah, and it was kind of in the middle of the pack. You saw that there's not much anyone could do at that point in time. John Mateo looked like he was the one that got tagged there or got bumped into, and he's right in the middle of the pack, and everybody just kind of ran into him at that point and caused a clogged artery on the back straightaway here. 7 laps into the event. Caution brought to you by PowderKote Plus. Those guys do excellent powder coating work for all your Harley-Davidson parts. They're based out of Daytona, Florida, and if you're not in Daytona, Florida, you can ship it to them, and they'll send it right back to you, and all for one low price. So check those guys out online at PowderKotePlus.com. We don't have a lucky dog yet in the race, but we will definitely have one of those, I'm sure, in this race tonight.
Yeah, looking through the binoculars at Cale Dresbeck's truck, who was involved in that, kind of got into the back of the 88. He's got a little bit of front-end damage, but he doesn't look real bad. But he stayed out, it looks like to me.
And how much will that rear end damage kind of affect him, TJ?
It depends, because even though this is a track with a lot of speed to it, you still need some downforce on the rear of that truck to keep it stable, especially coming off the corner, sometimes going into the corner. So it could loosen that truck up on him with a lot of speed to it.
Yeah, exactly right. And that could be something we'll have to pay attention to as the race transpires here on the Barnes Paving 200.
And Dusty Summers has done a good job. He's got himself the lead here. He's had a strong truck, and I've noticed he really likes the bottom.
We'll see how this transpires. So Dusty Summers on the bottom in that number 4 Barnes Paving truck, the namesake of the event tonight. JD Woodward second, he's on the outside. Dean Doucette, pole setter, he's third. Robert Honrada fourth. Jack Webb, David Nance, Shane Wyatt, Kyle Hall, Fowler, and Drisbeck, the final top 10 drivers. Right now, I think we've lost 2 drivers out of that group that were wrecked there. Mock, Hess, and are both out of the race right now. So 39 still running. And green flag back out here at the Barnes Paving 200. Great start by Dusty Summers and Robert Henrada on the bottom.
Yeah, Summers got a great jump.
An amazing jump. Great jump by Dusty Summers. And they're single file up front, TJ. I'm kind of surprised, but back behind them, they're starting to get a little bit racy. Oh, somebody slid
that's
and
just
died.
it up front.
That's the 48 that caught the wall, and everybody had to take evasive action on the back straightaway, but it's all good. Everybody keeps going.
They did a good job getting around him without causing a problem. And while that's going on, Robert Henrata has taken the lead away.
And Robert Henrata threw it down inside Dusty Summers, part of that Burnt Rubber podcast. Those guys always big fans watching Robert Henrata out here tonight, and he's up in the front on that number 37 truck. Dusty Summers, though, he's wanting a piece, and Dean Doucette's there as well. They charge off into turn 3, TJ, and Dusty Summers really rocking that high side. He's going to be able to slide in front of Dean Doucette there. JD Woodward's dropped the 4th. 3 wide behind him.
And now he's ducking down the bottom, trying to get under the 37 to look for the lead in turn 1.
2 Chevys and a Ford. That's our top 3 right now. And Dusty Summers put the 4 truck, Barnes Paving, back out front. And the undercut, Robert Henrata back underneath, TJ.
Yeah, he did the crossover there off of turn 2, and he's looking for the lead down in turn 3 on the bottom.
And Henrata put the 37 truck back out front in that Burnt Rubber podcast truck. And Dusty Summers trying to cross over again. Dean Doucette just watching this all transpire.
They're definitely making the crossover work. Wow.
There they go again. Oh, Dusty Summers, don't come up the track too much, bud. And he almost made contact with the 37. Dean Doucette on board him as he's going to get a run the outside.
Yeah, he's got a bird's eye view of these two swapping the lead back and forth.
And there's a slow truck up ahead. Somebody off pace. Could not get a good look at who it was. I don't think they're going to play too much of a role, but he is there, and there it is. Henrata trying to get a little bit of a draft and nearly ran to the back of that truck.
It's San Mateo, and he's trying to stay up out of their way. He's doing about as good a job as he can.
Doucette smoothly behind him. He's put himself up to second. Dusty Summers in that 4 truck looking right now underneath. It's single file through the top 7 right now. And John Mateo pulls all the way down to the apron. He wants no part of that. Dean Doucette inside. Robert Henrata going into 3.
Dean's got a little bit of a push from the 4 truck there, so that might help push him past the 37 to take that lead.
Pole setter back out in the lead. He'll lead this lap by just a hair. Robert Henrata, strong remove on the outside. JD Woodward's coming up behind him. Shane Wyatt, Kyle Hall, all in this group, along with Mario Miranda looking out Dean Doucette's car. Let's go a little bit further back. Inside Shane Wyatt's car, you see him there 2x2 on the outside of Kyle Hall in that PowderKote Plus Chevrolet.
And notice Mario Miranda in the 99 is working his way to the front here. He's caught this lead group.
He's looking out in front of Shane Wyatt. You can see it's 2x2x2. Up front, Robert Henrata taking over the lead again. Dean Doucette right on the back bumper. Dusty Summers looking on the inside. JD Woodward, Kyle Hall, they all are all over each other right now.
Yeah, none of these the 3 guys that have led these last few laps, none of these guys are content to ride. That's for darn sure.
On board, Mario Miranda, his second season in the Thunder Series. Started 2 races at the end of last season. And he's doing a whale of a job. Oh, he had to get a good run. He swings to the inside of JD Woodward, going down the back straightaway.
He got a really big run on the 94 there. He had to kind of take some evasive action not to run over him.
And JD Woodward starting to fall back just a little bit. Put him back to 7th place, and they're still battling up front for the lead.
Dean Doucette led that lap by a nose.
On board, Dusty Summers again. Part of that Punishment Motorsports group. Second season out there. He's running the high side right now, trying to help Robert Henrata down the back straightaway. They're swinging, they're dicing, but right now it's all about the 6 and the 37.
Don't look now, but Kyle Hall is getting a good run on the bottom here. He's going to be right up amongst these guys pretty quick.
On board that PowderKote Plus Chevrolet right now, and he's getting a great run on the bottom side, but it's all about the top 2 right now. Dean Doucette leads by an inch. And go ahead, TJ, sorry.
Now, I've noticed these guys are moving up more and more off the bottom. You don't see anybody right on that, excuse me, yellow line going around the bottom. I see that top side is probably going to be starting to come in and be a bigger player here.
There's so many great drivers out here tonight, but this battle has been intense. And Dean Doucette trying to hold off Robert Henrada by himself. Nobody down there. Dusty Summers and Robert Henrada up on the top right now.
Yeah, and it looks to me like JD Woodward is just kind of watching, following, saving his tires, and just, staying in touch with this lead group.
Another slow truck up here. They won't play any factor, I don't believe. They're going to be out of the way, but Dean Doucette slides up the track just a little bit, and Henrada's still there, and they're going to get a run on the outside of him. This is amazing racing right now, TJ.
Yeah, with this draft package, the leader just can't get away. It's constantly you're actually breaking the air for the guys behind you and helping them, so it's impossible to get away. These guys are really putting on a whale of a show.
Dusty Summers slides to the inside of Henrada. He's holding down, and he almost makes contact with Shane Wyatt.
I don't know if he knew Wyatt was there or not, but he was.
And Shane Wyatt did a great job, one of our youngest drivers in the field at just 15 years old out of Danville, Virginia. He's holding it down right now inside the top 5 in that 82 truck, but he had to get out of the gas. Did cost him a little momentum, but he's able to get back in it. Dean Doucette starting to set sail in front, actually.
Yeah, this is the biggest lead we've seen all night, and it's only, 3 truck lengths, so that's a huge lead for us so far.
0.2 of a second, and we're calling it a lead. Mario Miranda, though, TJ, he has moved himself up to 3rd place, just methodically working himself through the field, and he has been, really one of our stars. He's been up front in every single race so far this season, but just has not had the breaks at the end as we approach lap 21.
Yeah, we've seen him do this each week. He works his way right up to the front, and he becomes a contender, and if he can shake that bad luck monkey, he might be able to pull something off here tonight.
Looking at Mario Miranda now, he's working on the outside of that number 37 of Robert Henrada, the 17-year-old for Dark Horse Racing, teammates with Jack Webb and Shane Wyatt, and he's going to put himself into 2nd place, the 99, and right behind him, they're 3 wide, almost 3 wide. Dusty Summers backs out.
Yeah, Dean Doucette's loving seeing these guys racing for 2nd, 3rd, 4th on back because it's allowing him to get another big lead of probably 5 or 6 truck lengths now.
On board the rookie Jack Webb, 16-year-old teammates with Mario Miranda. He is doing a great job. He's moved himself up in this field so far, TJ, and that Dark Horse Racing group, they have 3 trucks inside the top 6 right now.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job tonight. We've seen them show speed each week, and tonight they look to be continuing that. As long as they can keep good luck on their side, they can come out of here with some good finishes, maybe a chance at a win.
Looking back a little bit further, Zach Fowler, Trent Barnes' replacement in that 1 truck this season. Big shoes to fill for the runner-up or 3rd place man in points last season, and Zach Fowler's put himself up into 8th place, working on 7th place or 6th place right now. He's looking on 6th place right now, Jack Webb.
Yeah, he's another one that's shown some speed so far this season, but he's not had the luck to go with it. So hopefully he's going to turn that around tonight. Looking good so far.
And then just looking back at our last 2 guys in the top 10, James Sugg up 22 spots. James Suggs is our big mover of the race so far in that number 79, first year in this Thunder Series. And Mario Miranda and Dean Doucette battling hard up into turn 2. We'll go back to the lead. And Dean Doucette's going to hold on right now, but Mario Miranda all over the back.
Yeah, Miranda's charging hard. He's going to look to take that lead as they come across start-finish line.
That was a dead heat, but I think it was Mario Miranda by a millimeter. And Dean Doucette's going to drop back. Henrada going to look underneath. And Dean Doucette, good power run on the outside. He's going to come back here coming out turn 2.
JD Woodward's moved his way up into the 4th here.
Mario Miranda not giving an inch yet. Toyota, Ford, Chevy, top 3 right now. All makes represented here in the Motor City.
We're seeing parity in the front, that's for sure.
And this time around, it's almost 3 wide for the lead. Henrada thought about going on the outside. He's still thinking about it. Dean Doucette still leads.
Yeah, Henrada's got a really good run coming off of 4 there on the top side. He's losing a little bit in 1 and 2. I think he had to kind of check up there because Dean kind of swung up almost in front of him.
Now that 45 truck you see on your screen is Cale Drisbeck. He is the first truck 1 lap down on board JD Woodward right now, our current point leader, looking out in the front of these leaders.
Yeah, and the 45 needs to stay where he's at, hopefully, and catch a caution so he can get himself back on the lead lap and work his way back into contention here. As you see him go.
Dean Doucette's in the
split
pits.
leader. Yeah, we've got about 3 or 4 trucks pitting, it looks like.
So Dean Doucette, one of our first takers on pit road here on lap 20. And you see him down at the bottom. Kyle Hall in. Suggs is in. And a couple of other drivers in as well. We'll go back to the leaders. Mario Miranda, Kel Drisbeck has put himself back on the lead lap. He's that 45 truck. Miranda, Henrada, JD Woodward, your top 3. Shane Wyatt, Jack Webb, top 5.
Yeah, now we're starting to see the pit strategy come into play here as to when these guys pit, when they take tires, and see what move pays off. And a lot of them coming to pit road now.
A lot of them, all of them. Robert Chipman might be the first guy to stay out. Him and Kenneth McCullough are going to stay out. Kenneth McCullough up 36 spots. He had pushed his way into the top 10 somehow. Robert Chipman, our fastest guy in practice. Those guys now, the race leaders, they're going to take over. Ronald Serling also in this group. Everybody else, Mayu and Jason Wiley, the other 2 tracks still on the track that have not pitted right now.
And I don't think it's any surprise to see Chipman and McCullough working their way up to the front. They had really fast trucks, so they're not a shock at all to see these guys running up here.
And we've seen Kenneth McCullough qualify kind of marginally last week at Dover, ended up with a great run, and here he is again tonight. He's a free agent in this series, if you can believe that. But this guy has some talent, and he is going to take the lead. He's going to get a bonus point, which is crucial in the championship hunt, as Kenneth McCullough leads. Ronald Serling right there stays out. Robert Chipman dipped to pit road. Josh Mayu, one of the pro drivers in the series. He is still out there racing for points in that 42 truck tonight. And Jason Wiley also staying out. He is in 4th, currently shown in 4th place.
Yeah, I noticed Chipman, when he hit pit road, he was going hot. He had to lock him up pretty good. I hope he didn't get a speeding ticket.
So right now, as it stands, once this cycles through, Mario Miranda is going to be the race leader by about a second over JD Woodward. And you see him right now on our screen, 9th and 10th. JD Woodward, Dean Doucette, Robert Henrada, Shane Wyatt, all battling for that basically second place on the track.
Yeah, Miranda did a really good job getting on and off pit road.
And Kenneth McCullough looking at him real quick here in that 03 truck, still staying out. He's really stretching it. Now, he did pit on lap 6, so he can go 6 laps further than these other guys. Ricky Whitworth, I can tell you, is in at least 4 trucks that have not pitted yet.
Yeah, and I would imagine that the 4 that are out there, they all pitted on that lap 6 caution.
Yeah, they sure did, TJ. All of them pitted on lap 6, so that's McCullough, Serling, Mayu, and Wiley. Miranda now up to 5th. He's the de facto leader, but now it's a big bunch, TJ, and they're all back grouped together once again.
It's funny, they kind of separate and then the draft, and it just pulls them right back together.
And you look at these pit lane times. I mean, this is unbelievable pit stop action here. Let's take a look at this. This is, I can't think that you guys wouldn't be impressed by how quick and how even these pit stops were. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, they did a great job, that group, getting on and off pit road. They did a really good job, all of them.
As you see, they're listed 14.7, 14.7, 14.7, 14.7, 15, and 15.1. That's our pit stops right now for our de facto top 5 drivers. And they're all over each other right now. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 wide maybe going through turn 2.
They are definitely a gaggle now.
McCullough is still staying out. We're keeping tabs on him. He's got about a half a second lead over Serling, 7 seconds over Mayu, 10 seconds over Wiley. These guys are 32 seconds behind the lead, but this is the technical lead on the track. We're staying with this battle. It's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 right now.
Yeah, these guys are not giving an inch. They are racing hard.
5 laps till halfway here in the Barnes Pavement 200. Barnes Pavement offers exceptional services at a low-cost price. Check those guys out on Facebook at Barnes Paving or online at barnespaving.com. They do an excellent job. I can't recommend those guys enough. And they have really supported us at Full Throttle TV and at ESRA. So give those guys a look. But right now the battle up front is Shane Wyatt. He takes over the de facto lead Again, Kenneth McCullough is still staying out and has actually not really lost a lot of time to these guys in that 03 real tree truck.
He's
actually
doing
coming
a
out.
really good job.
Apologies, TJ. McCullough and Serling are both in. Jason Wiley also looks to be heading in, so that will turn the lead over right now to this group of about 7 trucks. And Shane Wyatt leading them down. If he can lead this lap, it will be his first lap led tonight.
Yeah, he really asserted himself in this group here. He kind of drove right through them and took over the lead here. And so far, nobody's been able to do anything with him up to this point.
And Shane Wyatt does lead that lap. The 15-year-old out of Danville, Virginia, grabs the first lap lead of the season for him in that 82 truck. Jack Webb, Zach Fowler right behind him. It's a young gun show up front. The average age up there, TJ, right now is 15 years old, if you can believe that.
Very impressive bunch of 15-year-olds right there. They're doing a great job.
Dusty Summers right there in force of the Punishment Motorsports drivers. You could probably tell their teammates if I didn't tell you. Dusty Summers, Zach Fowler driving those Barnes Paving trucks right now, working together on the outside line. Looking a little bit further back, we have the free agent James Sugg, who's having a great run here tonight inside the top 5. Mario Miranda, who kind of got railroaded there, but he is back to 6th place. Right in front of him, Dean Doucette, JD Woodward, and Kyle Hall are top 10. Kel Drisbeck is also part of this group, but he did pit about 5 laps earlier than these guys, and he's actually starting to lose a little bit of touch with this group.
Yeah, he's done his job so far getting back on the lead lap. He needs a timely caution to kind of get back on the same sequence with these guys.
So right now, Shane Wyatt continuing to lead. Zach Fowler looking on the outside. He's trying to grab his first lap sled since the very first race at Daytona when that number 1 truck was out front. Trying to fill those shoes of Trent Barnes. Ooh! The Barnes Paving duo got a little loose going into turn 1, but Zach Fowler holds on to it, and he's going to sweep to the lead.
Yeah, the Barnes Paving truck's got good runs on the high side there, and it looks like they might be able to take over 1 and 2 here.
Shane Wyatt, Dark Horse Racing, he's going to get passed by Henrada on the outside. And there you go.
Barnes Paving trucks do set up 1st and 2nd here.
So Summers and Fowler, 1-2. Henrada is now 3, but he's all over the back. James Suggs in 5th place, having a great run. Mario Miranda, Jack Webb, those guys are teammates with Shane Wyatt, and they're about to get linked up. They're only 1 spot difference right now, that 99 and 13 truck to the 82 truck, and they had to swing out wide for the 48 truck there of David Nance. First truck a lap down.
Yeah, James Suggs is doing a really good job hanging right there in 5th place, so he's having a really good run tonight. It's good to see.
Now our points leaders right now, JD Woodward is our point leader. He would still be our point leader at the end of this race. Kenneth McCullough, he has done a whale of a job. He's put that number 03 truck up to 15th spot after starting second to last on the field in 39th here tonight. So he is doing a great job in that 03 truck up to 15th place. He is our second biggest mover behind Mr. James Suggs in that 79.
Yeah, and the 03 is doing a great job. McCullough's just, picking them off one at a time. He's moving through the field, doing exactly what he's done at races past, so not a surprise there at all.
Looking at Jack Webb, he is moving up into 7th spot. Dean Doucette trying to get some kind of balance out of here right now, holding on to that 8th spot. Can't get a run yet, just ahead of our point leader, JD Woodward, and Kyle Hall, part of that Haters Make Us Famous, one of the veterans in this series, participating in his 3rd season here in ESRA Thunder Series in that 87 PowderKote Plus truck, holding on to 10th place, right ahead of Robert Shipman.
Yeah, and Dean and JD have not really been this far back in traffic before, so they're having to face a lot of dirty air back there, so it may be affecting how their trucks are driving for them.
Well, TJ, we know Dean, and we know JD pretty well too. Or is it just the veteranness that maybe they don't want to get up? They saw how aggressive it was at the beginning. Maybe they just want to hang back and wait because they know they have to make another pit stop in this race.
Yeah, that could be a big part of it, and they could be looking at, saving some tire for the second half of this run so that they've got something to work with. They may be trying to save a little fuel. Maybe they're calculating their fuel mileage, and if they can save a couple laps, it'll benefit them. It's hard to say, but they don't look like they're really, getting too aggressive trying to make up a bunch of spots here. They look like they're pretty content.
Guy that's catching up to the back of this pack is David Moody. We haven't talked about him tonight. He's in 12th place, part of that K2B Motorsports group. Currently 4th in the team standings there, but having a great run here tonight, up 13 spots. Kel Drisbeck, 13th, and then Kenneth McCullough has moved up one more spot to 14th, just ahead of Dusty Applin, part of that mocked esports group. But sorry, go ahead, TJ.
Yeah, Moody's the one that's trying to catch this first group, and then there's a pretty good separation in time back to Dresbeck and McCullough, so they've got some distance to make up.
So Zach Fowler leading in the Barnes Paving 200 in the Barnes Paving truck for Punishment Motorsports. Right now, Robert Henrada second. Third is Mario Miranda, but he is getting no help on the bottom side from anybody except JD Woodward. JD Woodward's going down there.
And it looks to me like maybe JD had saved a little tire because he looks like he's trying to move up now. And he is.
And he's moving up very well. Dean Doucette, on the other hand, has actually moved outside the top 10 for the first time tonight as Robert Chipman moves underneath of him going into the turn. So JD Woodward moving forward, Dean Doucette moving backwards. But right now the battle is up front between these two, the 4 and the 37 for second place, and Zach Fowler continuing to lead.
Chipman must have done a really good job getting on and off pit road because he's made up a lot of track time here.
Let's take a look at the pit lane time, TJ. Now that you mentioned that, Chipman, 44.4 seconds. He is one of the top, but not the top. You see James Suggs is actually the slowest in this group at 45.1. So not a bad stop for Chipman, but otherwise he's a little bit off schedule, and I think that's going to be something we're going to have to pay attention to in that number 55 truck.
And don't look now, but McCullough is catching these guys by himself.
Well, let's take a look real quick at our lap time history. This is David Moody to Kenneth McCullough, and Kenneth McCullough is gaining a lap on David Moody, who's running 12th. Looking from Dean Doucette to David Moody, Moody is losing about a tenth of a second every lap. So Kenneth McCullough is actually catching the back of this group by about 0.8 a second. So the 03 has got him. Oh, we got somebody in the wall. That was Kyle Hall.
Wow, they did a good job not causing a big wreck there. Good heads up driving.
And that little slow up is actually going to keep Kenneth McCullough gaining up there. He's actually crowded around Moody, so he's up to 12th spot. Kyle Hall manages to hold on to it, but he definitely got some damage out of that. Zach Fowler continuing to lead right now.
Tell you what, Zach Fowler has not let that lead go. They haven't really been able to do anything with him. He's looking good out front.
Mario Miranda, it's a young gun show. I remember back in the early 2000s, there was the Gillette Young Guns, and those guys are all retiring. Well, guess what? We have some new young guns, and they're coming to the front right now. 15-year-old Zach Fowler, 16-year-old Mario Miranda, they're leading the field right now.
And they're doing a really good job. They're racing smart, racing hard, but they're doing a great job.
Kenneth McCullough, don't look now, second place points man. He has gotten around Kyle Hall, and he is not too far behind Dean Doucette. Now, keep in mind, folks, he has 7-lap newer tires than these guys, but the difference is Kenneth McCullough can go to lap 60 on this group, but now he's part of the main pack, and he can actually play pit strategy a little bit differently. He's really in the catbird seat, in my opinion, TJ. What a great strategy call by this 03. We've seen him do it before, but it's the first time we've seen him do it in the ESRA, and he is really making that 03 work. He's on the back of this group now.
Yeah, as fast as he's going here, and with those tires being a little bit newer, I think he's going to carve his way through these guys pretty quick.
Unbelievable run. Oh, Dean Doucette slides up the track almost got into Dusty Summers there, but they kept going. He's going to slide right down in front of Kenneth McCullough to try to hold on to get some draft there, but that was tedious there at the back of this lead group of 11 trucks.
It's funny how wide this track is, but how often we have these close calls. It's there's some hard, close racing.
And TJ, we estimate that these lead guys are within 5 laps of pitting. Now, keep in mind, Kenneth McCullough did pit on 31, which means we estimate he can go to lap 56, a little bit longer than these guys, if he chooses to. But now that he's part of this main group, he may decide to get on, just go on, and he's moved up to 10th place. And all of a sudden, JD Woodward, who looked like he was going to have a big point night, is doing a real good job.
Yeah, exactly. So, looking at McCullough, I think he's probably going to go as far as he can go because he's made this work so much to his advantage so far. So I look for him to do the same thing again and have those fresher tires and make them work even more.
Apologies about that. We had a technical error there for just a second, but we didn't lose anything. Right back up front, it's pretty much been stationary for the first time tonight. Zach Fowler leading, Mario Miranda second, Henrada. JD Woodward, that's our top 3. James Suggs, Shane Wyatt, our top 6. Jack Webb, Robert Chipman, Dean Doucette, Kenneth McCullough, our top 10. We'll go through the field and take a look at some guys we haven't talked about. Starting at number 15, that's Brian Dublé. He's been just kind of hanging out here tonight, part of that Super Speed Racing, teammates to Robert Henrada in that 00, but he's up 11 spots. Jeremy Freer up 6 spots. He's a free agent in that 24 truck, having a good run. Josh Mayu, one of the pro drivers in the series, he is 17th right now, out here as a team owner, trying to get some points for that truck. Right behind him, Justin Newcomb in that 7, and Jason Wiley in the 19. As we have some guys at the back, Ryan Mullis, Jason Hand, Logan Harris, Dakota Wilson, all pitting right now, along with Dusty Applin, who just came off pit road.
In the 87, Kyle Hall is pitting, and he's got some pretty significant right side damage from that time he hit the wall. So hopefully they can get that thing pulled out, and he can have a little bit better speed next run.
Exactly right. And you see some guys pitting here. Brad Patterson's got himself back on the lead lap. He's up to 22nd. Ricky Wentworth, one of the newer drivers here, he is up into 24th, got involved in that very first wreck. Ronnie Potts moving in 29th. David Nance, Cale Drisbeck, who just came off pit road, he's in 31st. Mark Figueroa out there in this lead group, but a lap down as you see some of our leaders pitting. He's in 31st, and Roger Rios Matias is still out there kicking in that 5 truck, got involved in that first wreck. He misses pit road, unfortunately, so he'll have to come back around another time. But that is our 33 drivers that are on the track at this point in time, TJ. Looking back up front, Mario Miranda continuing to lead.
Yeah, we got some more guys that are going to be heading to pit road this time.
TJ keeping up with those communications, and it looks like possibly Mario Miranda in the 99. Yes, he's coming in. Henrada right behind him coming in. Shane Wyatt coming in. And Kenneth McCullough is the first guy that stays out. No surprise there. So everybody in that lead group now pitted, and Kenneth McCullough is going to stay out for a couple more laps, I would assume. Josh Mayu staying out as well. And Jason Wiley.
It's going to be interesting to see if McCullough does stay out as long as he can, or if he does kind of come in a couple laps early. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays this.
Yeah, he's got kind of all the cards in his box. He can do whatever he wants at this point because he knows he can make it. But if you stay out longer, TJ, you can take less fuel. But this is a fixed setup league, so there's no adjustments other than taking less fuel. You can't change tire pressures, can't change perches or anything like that. So if the car is tight, you're not going to be able to rectify it if you take less fuel, which is always a concern in these type of races.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not a whole lot that you can do as far as anything adjustment wise. Like you said, it's been pretty much fuel or 2 tires versus 4 tires, which is usually not advisable. So if your truck is running tight, you may want to go ahead and put the extra fuel in it because it'll keep it balanced.
Looking at the 03, his last lap was a 41. Doesn't matter. He's coming in the pits now, so he does short pit just a little bit, 2 laps sooner than we anticipated. So the 03 is in, and that's going to turn the lead back over to the 1 truck of Zach Fowler, followed by JD Woodward, Mario Miranda, James Suggs, and Dean Doucette are top 5, and they are spread out now, TJ.
Yeah, they really spread out a lot this time, way more so than the first pit stop. So we'll see if they kind of draw back together or if they can kind of keep strung out, which I'm sure Zach Fowler would love to see them stay strung out.
Kenneth McCullough is leaving pit road right now. Zach Fowler coming on the front stretch. I think Kenneth McCullough is actually going to come out in a good spot. You see him gaining right now. Looks like he's going to come out. Let's see how good this turns out for him. He is going to get passed by the top 5, top 6, but he is going to drop probably into about 9th spot, I'm thinking.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be as far back as he was the time before. So, he's definitely made his advantage here by his pit strategy.
Speaking of pit strategy, time to bring up our pit strategy board, and you see it there. Here's the pit lane time. Fowler was a little bit slower, but Woodward had a great stop. He moved himself from 6th to 2nd. Mario Mirinda also up there. Suggs with a 44.1. Dean Doucette 44.2. But Robert Henrada, very slow time in pits, 45.5. Also Moody and Summers, 46.1 and 46.2. Those guys lost a little time, but Moody actually gained some spots because of pitting earlier and getting ahead of Kenneth McCullough.
I tell you what, James Suggs is really doing a great job tonight. He is really keeping himself in the fight here.
Yeah, exactly right, TJ. James Suggs having a decent season, first season in the Thunder Series, all by himself, but he's having a great run here tonight. And right now, Zach Fowler continuing to lead, but he's got company coming as those 3 trucks, the 94, 99, and the 79, all linking up, trying to get a run and catch back up.
Tell you what, they're a good trio of trucks too, because all 3 of those guys are fast. So they should be able to track the 1 truck back down.
So Dean Doucette running in 5th place right now. He's about a second behind this group, so he's going to need some help. 17 to go in the Barnes Paving 200. We had 1 caution on lap 6. We haven't had a caution since then, so it's been green flags. So shout out to Wiseguy iRacing Graphics. We haven't had a lucky dog here tonight, but those guys do excellent work. They're the lucky dog sponsor in the league. Doesn't look like we're going to get one of those tonight, but those guys do a great job. They'll do historicals, replicas, custom requests. Check them out on Facebook at Wiseguy Graphics, and they'll do a great job for you, hands down. But back up front, Zach Fowler leading over JD Woodward. He's got a couple of lap trucks in between him and JD Woodward now.
Yeah, Zach Fowler did a really good job getting through that lap traffic, and now he's placed himself ahead of those 3 lap trucks. So the 3 guys chasing him, led by JD Woodward, got to work their way around those lap trucks.
15 to go, and like we said earlier, Zach Fowler, 15 years old. JD Woodward, I believe, is in his 20s. He doesn't have his age in the system, but he is a young gun too. But compared to Mario Mirinda, 16, Zach Fowler, 15. I mean, it's a young gun show. But the KG veteran, Dean Doucette, is back on the back of these guys. He chased them down, and he's looking underneath James Suggs for 4th place.
Tell you what, he made up a lot of ground in a lap or 2 there, because he was a second back a lap or 2 ago, so he's really flying.
He's underneath the 99, so Dean Doucette might have been saving a little tire. 15 to go, and the 6 truck put him underneath the 99, put him underneath the 94. Dean Doucette's going from 5th to 2nd in 1 lap.
Wow, what a run he got through 3 and 4 there.
Just missed out on 2nd place, came across the line, registered 3rd, but Dean Doucette not going down without a fight. 14 to go. The Toyota driver, the only Toyota driver in the top 10, holding on to that spot. And he's going to slide in front of JD Woodward and put the number 6 truck back up into 2nd spot, just ahead of JD Woodward. James Suggs followed him, and he's making a move underneath Mario Mirinda now.
Yeah, and I'm watching the 03 of Kenneth McCullough. He just worked himself up into 7th place, and he's starting to drive away from that little pack. He's got his sights set on the 99.
Kenneth McCullough, don't know if he has a winning truck tonight, but he is looking at that 3rd place of JD Woodward as his biggest competitor, because that's the points battle between these two. James Suggs is in there as well, or sorry, Ronnie Potts is in there as well. Ronnie's having a bad night in 20th spot, but those guys are the point leaders right now in this series. And it's really the 03 and the 94 establishing themselves tonight, and McCullough continuing to gain on James Suggs. Dean Doucette's actually pulled ahead of Mario Mirinda. I'm kind of surprised, and he's chasing down Zach Fowler.
Wow, the 6 trucks looks really fast right now. Let's see if he can do anything as far as making up the ground to the 1 truck there that's leading.
Unbelievable night we've had. Jack Webb, 4th place in points guy. He's running in 10th place. Wouldn't be remiss to mention him. He's had a great run for Dark Horse Racing in that 13. Just ahead of him, David Moody up 16 spots into 9th. Robert Henrada, who's been up front all night, looks to be settling into around 8th or 7th. Shane Wyatt, part of that Dark Horse Racing team, in 7th. That is our other drivers. But now Kenneth McCullough has caught the back of this pack, and he's working underneath James Suggs. So Kenneth McCullough coming and trying to maybe take over the points lead. That's on his mind tonight.
Yeah, and I was going to say, too, as good as JD Woodward and Kenneth McCullough are running tonight, it's going to be hard for guys to make up points on these guys if they keep running in the top 5 like this, or, near the top 5.
Exactly right. Kenneth McCullough and JD Woodward. And you got a battle now. Mario Miranda gets underneath Dean Doucette in that lap truck right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, the lap truck didn't do Dean any favors there. Not that he did anything wrong, but he just kind of caught him wrong, and it really killed Dean's momentum there and allowed the 99 to get a good run on him.
And that was Logan Harris in that 14 from the Backroads Motorsports, just trying to get out of the way, and there wasn't much he could do there in that situation, but he does get cleared, and Kenneth McCullough is the last one. So it's now a 2nd through 6th in a pack, and 1st is still out in front, 2 seconds ahead. He's loving this right now because he's got lap traffic. He's putting in between him and 2nd place Mario Miranda.
I can tell you, Zach Fowler is the happiest guy on the racetrack right now because he is doing a really good job of working his way through traffic and putting more trucks between himself and 2nd place.
Inside 10 laps to go in the Barnes Paving 200 here on Full Throttle TV. Dean Doucette working hard. JD Woodward all over the back of him. And these guys battling, and they're going to try. Man, they're waving all over the place out here. Ken McCullough underneath the 79, put him into 5th spot, 1 position behind the points leader. That's our top 2 in points for those of you just tuning in. Really big battle up front, but right now it's all Zach Fowler in that 1 truck. The Barnes Paving sponsor truck for Punishment Motorsports in the Barnes Paving 200 currently leading, and you can see the gap. Zach Fowler all the way at the bottom, Mario Miranda all the way at the top of our screen.
Tell you, that battle for 2nd is really, really getting intense.
Kenneth McCullough, he's come up through the pack. He's underneath Dean Doucette. He's going underneath Mario Miranda. Can that 03 truck get up to 2nd place?
Wow, what a run for Kenneth McCullough. That's impressive.
And Kenneth McCullough continuing to just prove that he is a wily vet in this league. He started 37th in the field. There was a couple drivers that did not end up taking the grid, so he was scheduled to take 39th. Ended up starting 37th here tonight, and he's moved himself into 3rd spots, by far the biggest gainer of the night, by 11 positions over James Suggs, and that 03 continuing to work, and he's right now 2 spots ahead of JD Woodward, which would de facto put him in the point lead if the race ended right now. So this is a big race to play for, because this is only an 8-race season, TJ. Every point matters.
Yeah, absolutely does. And McCullough's doing a really great job. And Woodward's not letting him get away too much here. He's staying right with this battle.
Next week we go to Kentucky. We'll have Kentucky and I believe Richmond, and then we'll have an off week for Christmas. But these guys, there's some looming races coming up on that schedule, including Road America, that these guys will have to take into account. And that is get your points while you can, and that way you have them in the bank if there's a track coming up you don't like. The 03 underneath Mario Miranda. We're staying with the battle for 2nd. Zach Fowler 1.5 seconds ahead. Doesn't look like he's going to be caught, but you never know. The gap has gone down from 2.05 to 1.75, so it is closing, but is there enough time to get there?
Yeah, that's just it. Is there enough time? The main concern that Kenneth McCullough has now is those lap trucks. When he catches them, where he catches them, and if as long as they don't impede him, they can actually help him with the draft. So he's digging for all he can.
So we stay with the battle. Let's take a look at our lap time history between Zach Fowler and the 2nd place man, Kenneth McCullough. And you'll see on our screen here, McCullough is gaining about 0.3 a lap, and you see him. He's at the top of the screen now. It's down to 1.5 seconds, 5 to go here in the Barnes Paving 200 at Michigan, the Motor City and it has been a motor fest here tonight, TJ. Unbelievable racing.
These guys have really put on a great show. They've done an awesome job, and we've seen some great racing all night, and it is getting ready to heat up here, I think.
So Kenneth McCullough, right now, we're focusing on the second place battle. He is gaining time. Anytime you see a plus, that means Kenneth McCullough is gaining to the driver in front, not losing to the driver in front. So he's gaining about a tenth or two every lap to Zach Fowler. It's down to a second with 4 laps to go.
It's going to be interesting to see once he gets out from behind the draft of these lap cars if his progress keeps going or if it stalls him out.
He gained half a second that lap. It's under 1 second. The 7 truck kind of blocking him in there. McCullough being very patient, and he's going to push himself underneath there. Mario Morin is going to help him through. Ooh, almost got in the back of that 7. The 7 not really moving out of the way very easily.
I definitely didn't do him any favors for sure.
And that's going to cost McCullough some time, cost him 0.3 of a second. Oh, no.
And the thing is, McCullough doesn't want to, have a wreck here late and have a really bad finish and give up all those points. So he's got to be careful.
So that time by, as you'll see, Fowler gained a 1/10.5 on McCullough. So 3 to go. It's going to be tight. But these lap trucks, if they get out of the way, Kenneth McCullough does have a chance. Zach Fowler not too far ahead at this point, and he just got to hang on and hope he gets all the favors in the world from these lap trucks. And the 33 looks like he's actually getting out of the way here. So Kenneth McCullough not going to get too much resistance from the 33. Mario Morin underneath of him.
Yeah, Zach Fowler's just got to worry about those lap trucks in front of him. Don't bother looking out the mirror and just, make your way around them as efficiently as you can.
2 to go. Staying with the battle for second right now. That is our big battle on the track right now. Zach Fowler just ahead. You saw him on your screen. He just came through. JD Woodward holding off Dean Doucette right now for 4th place. Those guys just now working through traffic. James Suggs on the back of the 6 truck a little bit further back. But right now, Kenneth McCullough, it's down to 0.8 of a second. And TJ, I don't know, but he's gaining pretty rapidly thanks to that draft from Mario Morin. He might get there, but it's going to be one thing to get there. It's another thing to pass.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't have anybody between himself and the leader now, and he can see the leader's tailgate, so that's his target.
And you see it now. It's white flag in the air from the flag man. 1 to go in the Barnes Paving 200. Kenneth McCullough trying to chase down Zach Fowler for his 2nd win of the year. Zach Fowler just now getting around the lap traffic. You can see him on the screen. It's down to half a second coming out turn 2.
Yeah, and it kind of killed his momentum a little bit there, having to go underneath the lap truck in turns 1 and 2, and it looks like McCullough's closing some, but I don't think he's going to have quite enough to get there.
McCullough's closing in. Does he have enough time? It doesn't look like it. Zach Fowler rolls off turn number 4 in the 1 truck. Trying to grab his first career win in the Thunder Series. He's going to get it done for Barnes Paving tonight. Punishment Motorsports, another victory in the 1 truck. Zach Fowler grabs his first, Kenneth McCullough 2nd, and Mario Morin 3rd. JD Woodward grabs 4th. Dean Doucette rounds out our top 5 tonight. James Suggs, Shane Wyatt, Jack Webb, David Moody with a solid run, and Robert Henrada finishing 10th in the Burt Rubber Podcast, number 37. That was an amazing race tonight, but one of the youngest drivers in the field, TJ, grabs his first career Thunder Series win.
Very impressive. Once he kind of took that lead away there and after the last pit stop, he just never looked back, and he got a good gap there and maintained it and did a great job.
And Kenneth McCullough, for all intents and purposes, will be taking over the point lead by at least maybe a point. They might be tied. We'll have the points here in just a second. But what a race for this young Zach Fowler. We saw him up front at Daytona, got shuffled around, and ended up getting involved in the wreck. At Dover, he was a non-factor most of that race. But here tonight, he proved he's got the talent to replace Trent Barnes in that 1 truck. Trent moved on to the Pro Series. Excellent driver, finished 3rd in this championship last season. And Barnes Paving wins their namesake race tonight, TJ.
Yeah, very cool deal for Barnes Paving. Zach did a great job. Like you said, he was strong at Daytona, got caught up, had a little rough go of it last week, but he came out here tonight and showed him what he's made of.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with some interviews and a wrap up of tonight's Barnes Paving 200 from Michigan Speedway. All right, we are back live here in the Barnes Paving 200, and what a race we had here tonight, TJ.
Yeah, we really did. These guys were racing from the drop of the green flag. It wasn't anybody riding. They were all battling the whole race long, and we saw a lot of excitement go on tonight. It was a great race.
Yeah, we did. And TJ, we look at the point standings. Ken McCullough, unofficially a 1-point lead over JD Woodward. And I think you're standing down on pit road with our third place finisher tonight, Mario Miranda, in that number 99 truck.
Yeah, hey, how you guys doing?
Good, Mario. Hey, you've shown some speed all season long, and tonight you came home with a third place finish. Great job.
Yeah, thank you. I knew I had the truck to do it. I've had the motivation since my Homestead win to go out and win. I just saved my tires a little too much and needed only like maybe 2 more laps.
Yeah, you guys were coming at the end. Was the gap that the one truck got there kind of midway, maybe a third of the way through that last run, was that what helped him to have enough for you guys couldn't catch him?
Definitely. About a quarter through that last run, I realized I was saving too much tires because the gap got to almost 3 seconds. So I started to push, but at that time it was almost too little, too late. So I was just looking for a podium.
I tell you what, you did a great job getting on and off pit road all night long. How much does pit strategy and when you take tires, is that something that's really kind of a make or break thing for each race?
Oh, definitely. It definitely cost me the win last week at Dover. It's cost me wins before, but it's also given me wins. So pit strategy is a very dangerous game to play.
Yeah, it is. And I got to say, it's been impressive watching you week in and week out. You're really flawless on pit road. You do a great job out on the track. And to see you come home third tonight, threatening for the win, that was an awesome run for you.
Yeah, thank you. I take a lot of pride in my racing, and sometimes I can't get it done in qualifying, but race day is always a different day.
Yeah, because you came from 20th on the field, so you really moved your way up there pretty quick, and we're with that lead pack most all race long.
Yeah, I set a goal for myself in the first 10 laps, be in the top 10, and the accident that happened in front of me helped with that a little, but I got one goal checked down during that race.
All right, now we got Michigan out of the way. Great run here. What are your thoughts on next week at Kentucky?
Kentucky's been a good track to me, truck series wise. Not as much in the Cup series, but I love the track a lot. It focuses a lot on your tire saving and your pit calls. So it should be a good showing for me and the DHR team.
Well, good deal. We'll look forward to hopefully talking to you again next week. Great run. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. You can thank whoever you want.
Thank you. Thanks to Burnt Rubber Media and Zombie Gaming for putting their logos on the car. It means a lot to have some kind of backing now.
All right, TJ, that was our third place finisher tonight. Mario Miranda, one of the youngest drivers in the field. Solid run from him. But I am down here on pit road with our runner-up tonight and our new point leader, Kenneth McCullough Jr. Kenneth, what a run you had from pretty much shotgun on the field up through the front.
Yeah, man, that race was a blast. It was intense, the whole thing. Like I said, I started in the back. I mean, it was rough coming up through there, too.
Yeah, take us through that. So you had to start at the very back of the field. There was an early caution early in the race. You kind of went off cycle, went ahead and came in the pits, were able to stay out longer, and you had those fresher tires when the green flag cycles came around. Was that your strategy to kind of get off cycle with those leaders to kind of make yourself a little bit faster toward the end of the run?
That wasn't my strategy to begin with, but when we had that caution, 6-7 laps there, I figured I needed to come in at least top off. And they wound up working out. The tires made a big difference there at the end. I needed one more lap there at the end. The 99 did a good job of staying on my bumper there. I think he might have dragged the wall there a little bit, and we disconnected there, but we just about had him.
Yeah, it was very amazing watching you come through the pack. And then at the end, I mean, you were catching Zach Fowler, but how much did that lap traffic kind of influence the outcome of this race here tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty rough, especially them last 2 or 3 laps there. I think there was a handful of 4 or 5 lap cars there between me and Zach. He did a good job. I know they were giving him a handful too.
Well, now, I mean, Kenneth, honestly, you've been on a hot streak since we last we talked to you at Daytona. You won Daytona, your first race over here at the Thunder Series. You finished third in the points over at the former ISRA. I mean, you've been on a hot streak, man. You're going into Kentucky next week. You got the points lead unofficially by a point over JD Woodward. I mean, how excited are you, and how much momentum can you continue to go as you head into Kentucky next week and then Richmond the week following?
I hope I can carry it right on to the end. I hope. The racing's been really good over here. I mean, I know we've had a little couple hiccups here and there, but the racing's been really good. Good group of guys we got over here.
Well, Kenneth, congrats again on that runner-up spot. I'm going to turn the floor over to you, and congrats again on that great run.
Sir, thank you, buddy. I'd like to thank Elite Sim Racing Association. They got a hell of a thing going on over here they put together. And thank Full Throttle TV. Go watch the broadcast. They do a real good job. And I want to thank all the friends and family for tuning in.
Well, we appreciate the kind words, Kenneth, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time we talk to you. But TJ, you're down in victory lane with a first-time Thunder Series winner, Mr. Zach Fowler, who grabbed the win tonight.
Yes, sir. Alongside of Zach Fowler, driver of the #1 Chevrolet. Hey, Zach, awesome win, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys. I can't tell you all these people helped me out with Trent Barnes and Steven with this Barnes paving machine. They did a great job, and thankfully we got the win tonight.
How awesome is that to win your sponsor's title race? That's got to make you feel really good.
I didn't even know that. Well, that feels even 10 times better then. Yeah, that feels awesome. Like I said, I can't thank Trent enough for putting me on this team and putting me in this great league. I haven't lost for words. It's awesome.
I'll tell you, Zach, you started 13th. You worked your way up to the front. You know, you did a really good job there. You looked like you got on and off pit road really good and clean tonight. And on the last run, you got the lead, and you kind of got that big gap, and you were able to maintain that enough to hang on. How did you get that gap?
I think the guys behind were just trying to save their stuff. I think they were going to think I was going to burn my stuff up, and then first, I think 10 laps after we pitted, and luckily I got that big gap. And as the race wind down, I think we just got lucky with lap cars, so we got to catch the draft with that. And I also think they were running 2x2, so just getting lucky with lap cars, going to be able to pick up the draft was the key thing, I think, for our win tonight.
I noticed early on when you caught a bunch of the lapped cars, you kind of seemed to be able to pick your way through them a little bit cleaner, but at the end it looked like a couple of them were like a little bit more difficult to get around, let's say. Did it cause you concern at that point because you weren't as able to get around them as cleanly as you were earlier?
It was a little bit, but they did do a great job. I got to thank all of them for getting out of the way. But it concerned me a little bit with second place running me down. But thankfully, most of them got out of the way, and we were able to get the win.
Well, I'll tell you, it was impressive to watch you. You did a great job. You got that lead. You managed it really well, and a really impressive win for you. Congratulations on that. Now that we've got a win here at Michigan, what are your thoughts next week as you go into Kentucky?
I'm not the best at Kentucky, I can say that, but I feel like if we put a lot of practice into it, I can really get a good, solid run and maybe a win again. So Kentucky's going to be a little difficult, but ain't going to stop us, that's for sure.
How important do you think going forward now this win and this momentum is going to be for you? Is it going to really help you guys go faster and be more competitive every week?
Oh, yeah, for sure, especially after, Dover last week, we got wrecked, in Daytona we got a little bit, I think, damage there, and it caused us, a win at Daytona. I think this momentum is going to help us huge going into, I think, the last 5-6 races. So this is definitely going to be huge momentum for us going into Kentucky and the races beyond.
Well, Zach, I got to tell you, a really impressive win. Congratulations on that, and I'm going to turn the floor over to you. You can thank whoever you need to.
Oh, yeah, definitely want to thank Steven, Barnes Paving, Trent Barnes, for putting me on this great team once again, and hopefully I can go pick up more wins.
Well, Zach, a great run for Zach tonight. TJ, I mean, we had the young guns out front tonight, and Zach Fowler, only 15 years old, I believe, winning his first career Thunder Series race, puts himself up unofficially to 7th in points. And we look at this top 10 in points. Kenneth McCullough, we talked about 1 point ahead of JD Woodward, another young guy up there in the points. Jack Webb, only 16 years old. Ronnie Potts, 4th. Mario Miranda, 5th. Josh Mayu, who's a pro driver, he'll be dropping out of there, but he is 6th right now. Zach Fowler, Dusty Summers, Brad Patterson, and Dean Doucette are current top 10. And TJ, that's not the only battle as well. In order to be eligible for that pro series, you have to finish inside the top 20. And you look down here, Kyle Hall, Robert Henrata, David Moody, Danny Davis, James Suggs, right there on that cut line right now.
Yeah, that's what's going to make it interesting for these guys. You know, some of them are comfortably in, and some of these guys got some work to do. So, you know, they're going to put Michigan behind them if it wasn't a great finish for them, and they're going to look to go to Kentucky and try and turn that around and gain some points and get inside that top 20 so they can move up.
Well, it's been a great race here from the Irish Hills of Michigan. Next week, we will be down in the Bluegrass State, my home track. Unfortunately, no longer on the schedule, Kentucky Speedway. And then we'll be to one of TJ's home tracks in the Virginias over there at Richmond. So it's going to be a fun couple weeks here. And we haven't seen a short track yet. We haven't seen a typical 1.5 mile yet, so we don't know what to expect. But you can count on the same guys we've seen up front all week to be there. But TJ, what are you looking forward to over the next couple weeks before our Christmas break?
Well, I'll tell you what, since we've, this is our 3rd race in, and we've seen a lot of exciting, good, hard, clean racing here. We've seen a couple of wrecks, which is kind of to be expected with as large a fields as they have here at the Thunder Series. But the racing has really been impressive. I thought they did a whale of a job tonight. Tonight was just a great race to watch. There's a lot of excitement going on. And next week we're going to go to a different track. It's a typical 1.5 mile track, so it's going to be a little bit different than what we saw tonight. And then, of course, after that, the next week we go to Richmond, which is going to be the first short track on the schedule. So there could definitely be some beating and banging there for sure.
That's exactly right, TJ. But the action does not stop here tonight. ESRA is going to be back live on Full Throttle TV on Thursday night. Myself, Jared Carr, and Dean Doucette will be in the booth calling the inaugural IndyCar Series live there on Full Throttle TV. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll win the green flag. Will drop. We'll be on there at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time for the first season of IndyCar here at ESRA. We're excited about that. And then we'll be back, myself and TJ Bartel, next week at Kentucky, same time, same place, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time on Full Throttle TV. But until next time, I'm Jared Carr for TJ Bartel. We will see you at Kentucky.